Well, for me, winning the Future Awards African it means a lot to me because, as you know, I've been to different awards and most of them are the music awards. But when it comes to the Future Awards, it's something different. Like there's a musician, there's a football player, there's entrepreneurs, there's different people. I mean, the whole Africa is in this award. So for me, being one of the winner, like, it means a lot to me. Even apart from being a winner, but even being nominated to that award, it means a lot to me.
Winning the Future Awards Africa for Creative Artist of the Year in 2011 meant a lot to me. It opened up doors that I never thought would be opened. It was a prestigious award that's very respectful within my peers and those above us. The award inspired me to do more because it made me realize that people were actually watching and people were getting inspired by what I did, especially from a lot of comments and phone calls and text messages that I received after winning the award.
So in 2013, I was nominated for the Future Awards under the category of Advocacy and Activism. And I was very sure that I was going to win, but I didn't. Obviously, everyone in the category was just a high flyer. They had done so well in their communities across different countries, you know, in this continent. So being nominated alone was a huge honor, and I was very grateful for that. In 2014, I was nominated again, but under the category of community action, which resonates very well with the work that I've done over the years in Nigeria. And I remember sitting on that chair at this huge big hall in Lagos, and they announced the nominees. Honestly, I didn't think I was going to win. This is not even a matter of I'm trying to make it look very sweet or anything. I actually didn't think I was going to win, because everyone in that category again was just phenomenal. But they called me and they said I won, so I was elated, filled with joy. I didn't prepare any speech or talk. I just said thank you very much to Future Awards, thank you very much Red, thank you very much everyone for nominating me. And but more importantly, I think winning the award was a pat on my back. It was like telling me, well done, the work you're doing is recognized, the work you're doing is valuable, the work you're doing is appreciated. It was also a motivator for me because it gingered me to do a lot more than I did in the past.
Welcome back, people. You know, Mimi, I'm thinking young people are not even taking it easy nowadays.
Honestly, Timini, I'm intimidated. I'm not even going to lie. I need to wake up.
I know, right? People, I hope you're enjoying this. I hope you are as excited as we are. Remember, hashtag TFAA 2016 on social media, Instagram, Twitter, whichever one you choose.
And remember, thefutureafrica.com to keep up with the profiles on all the nominees here today.
Yes.
We're joined now by the fashion designer extraordinaire, all-round great guy, but for the purpose of this, the outgoing chair of the Central Working Committee for the Future Awards Africa, Atafu. How are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you.
Now, before we even start, we need to thank you on behalf of the board for your many years of selfless service to the Future Awards Africa. I mean, 7 years is no joke.
No joke
yes,
at all.
It was, I was happy to be of service for the 7 years.
Absolutely.
It was something that I have a strong belief in. And when they told me to join in the first place, it was easy to join. I wanted me to be chairman. It was even something that I carried to heart, and I executed. You know, when I was even meant to leave, I was getting the chair. So, you know, we have to always pass on the baton to people that you believe can also do the job and even better.
Definitely.
So BK is one of those people.
Fantastic. Yeah. Speaking of passing on the baton to the next generation, I wonder, over the last 7 years, how tasking was this job?
I think a lot of people did not know exactly what I did. And they felt like all fancy. But I think I was the only one that hardly found it possible to actually wear a suit during the Future Awards. Because I was responsible for coordinating, not just coordinating the meeting, but making sure that we got what we wanted to get in terms of the nominees. the strategies behind getting people to nominate. The flow for the day was left to me. Choosing the presenters and the award presenters and the host for the day, I had a major role to play in that. I at least scripted every single host and presenter for the years that I did that. And I also ran the show itself from top to bottom. So literally, I mean, Chude and Debola will yell at me when things are not going right. I might start the show right now. I don't care. It's your job to get this thing done. So it was not just like the chairman giving instructions. It was also me taking an active value in the execution of the awards itself, including the content, which I love to do it, but it could be a lot of work, but it was fun.
Yeah, that's clearly not a lazy man's job.
Absolutely.
I would say in all the 7 years and in everything that you've had to do, what would you say has been the hardest part of, what's the hardest part of being CWC chairman?
Yeah, that's a good question. What was the hardest? I actually love doing this. I want people to pinpoint, this. But half the time, I think is actually just get the awards going. Not the actual award day, but the process. Okay, when do we start? Do we start in May? Do we start in June? Do we start in July? Everybody's a bit lackadaisical. Then, it's like towards crunch time. So I think that was it. Nobody ever took it seriously. It looked like, what's exactly 1 month away, 2 months away? Then we are all running around. And I had this template that I used years ago. And when they're all going around like headless chickens, looking my template again, like, there you go. Award, activity, icebreaker, award, activity, award, done. Okay, now start filling in the gaps. But yeah, so I think that was the hardest part, just to galvanize people to make sure that it is time to start getting it on. Because I'm the kind of person that when I finish something, I evaluate immediately and I write my next line of action immediately, even before. If it's a year before, I do it immediately and just lock it up. Fantastic. So when it's time for the show, I just go back and pick up where I wrote that. Yeah.
I love that. That seems like a working process. And I wonder, being that you seem to have so much fun doing this job and you obviously love it, there's no doubt about it, was there a high point for you? Any one moment that has completely stood out as the high point of you being CWC chair?
I won't know if it's actually one, because there were quite a few. Like last year, having the band open the show on the throne and we bringing in was quite emotional, because it was one of those people that actually won Young Person of the Year years ago.
Oh wow!
So it's like when you look at the people that were awarded, even at the time, people go like, "Why did they win? Why did they win?" And look at them like a year, 2, 3 years later, it is actually clear why they won. So someone like him doing that at that point in time was strong. Some years ago, 2, 3 years ago, Asha performed. That was definitely a highlight for me, because this is Asha. Forget the fact that she's awesome, she's Nigerian, she's international, and that's her on that stage. And I think it's just how people have transformed. So at the beginning we say, okay, this person nominated, or he is one of the young people who are given a chance to shine. There was a year that the young people were given a chance to shine were Skills, Wizkid, Mo Cheddar, what's the other person? They all performed together as one performance.
That would have been interesting.
Right? And I mean, if we had that clip right now, it would be so memorable, because all of them are like, major players. So I think whenever I look at that and I look back, sometimes I sit down there and look at people presenting their awards and I smile, not because of them, because I'm thinking, wow, what a journey. And that makes it even more fulfilling. So I have a lot of high points every time I think of the Future Award, even watch the Future Awards.
Fantastic.
This one is a bit like personal. It is not, ladies and gentlemen, CWC chairman is not a paid job. You understand? And you did it. So I want to know, why did you decide to do it? Considering that you knew what you were getting into and you knew that there was no financial remuneration.
Yeah, I think that when I met Debola before I met Chude, and once I tapped into what they were trying to do, I was moved, because I said that when I was their age, if there was someone like that doing that for me, I'll be miles better than where I am today. So they were like literally 19, 20 at the point in time and saying, this is what we're doing. I'm like, wow. If when I was 19, 20, I had a group of guys doing this, I'll be on that bandwagon and pushing it, or, be an active part. It just makes you find out that the journey is not so far when you have information and people to look up to. And so when they told me, I was like, it's a little bit past my generation, but you know what? So a few years back, I jumped on this bandwagon and I joined. So it was almost my way of giving back to society, you know. And I felt that, and that's something I'm really passionate about. I'm always passionate about, you know, the people behind me, because I think that they will create the world that'll be easier for my daughter to live in the near future. You know, so if I don't manage them, they wouldn't manage her.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean? So I think it's a ripple effect. So it was all that put together, and I said, you know what, I'm going to be a part of this. And someone once told me something, you know, when you commit to do something, regardless of the circumstances around it, as long as you're committed to really deliver it. You know, if they're not going to pay you, I don't think you said yes in the first place. You can't say, I'll give you 50% because I'm not getting paid. If you are giving me more money, I'll do 100%. You get what I mean?
100 regardless.
As long as you've committed to it. And I think that's the character of a real man and a true man. You know, it's someone that can stand behind the consequences of his decision, either it is a good consequence or a bad consequence. Like you stand behind it. That makes a man, and I thought, you know, this was the making of a man for me too.
Fantastic, and you stood behind that for 7 whole years. That is definitely
and you did a great job.
Yeah, thank you.
Honestly, I could listen to you for hours.
I have to talk for hours. But this is not that show.
This is not that show. I have to say that we're a little sad to see you go, but it's a bit comforting knowing that you're transitioning to the advisory council.
Yeah.
So it's not. So
I'm still around the neighborhood. You can ask for sugar and milk anytime around. I'll make sure to give.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Mai. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, before we let Mr. Maya Tafel go, we're going to get him to help us unveil some of the nominees for the Future Awards 2016.
So I've been unveiling a few categories, and the first category I'll be unveiling is the Future Award Africa Prize for Media Enterprise. The next category are those people that actually stand and actually serve in the government. This is the Future Award Africa Prize in Public Service.